Welcome to the Band Shop Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. We've got Aforethought in the studio with us today. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
Here we be is...
Had a pretty good set in here a little while ago. Got, nice and sticky.
Sweaty.
Hey. Oh, sticky.
And salty.
Almost. Salty and
Sweet
sweaty.
and salty.
Oh,
Sweet.
dude, yeah. It's the best combination to ever.
You guys could be found in the chip aisle, guaranteed.
Oh, we'd be chips.
Sweet and salty.
Aforethought chips.
Call them
Family
Aforethought
size.
chips.
Yeah.
2 for $6.
2 for $6.
There it is.
Yes.
Or 10 for 10. Yeah.
10
Cooler
for
Ranch
10.
Doritos could never.
Never. Would we be multiple flavors or be a form of like a brand's, like we'd be just one of their flavors?
I'm
or
lost
would we
now.
be just...
I would just be
You
a
guys are
corn
not-
chip.
Where did that go?
You know,
The
plain corn
scoop,
chip?
the
I
scoop.
would
you know,
just
like
be a
rap
regular-
chips have like Cardi B's, like, and they have like all those
Wrap
other
chips
ones.
are so stupid.
Rap
Those
snacks?
aren't
I don't.
chips.
They're
I'm
called
sorry.
rap snacks.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm not
that's
up to
that's
date.
that's priced garbage on the shelves.
Yeah.
You're telling me
Everything
they're not
ain't quite.
revolutionaries?
not
Just chip bags, bro. You're telling me those are
All I
not
know is
revolutionaries?
jalapeno with a dab of honey is dope.
I think you're just paying for the air. But that's
I am paying for the air, but it.
Bro, I'm paying
It's good air.
because
It's
I
good
literally
air.
believe that parts of them
Does Cardi B
are
even like
in-
chips?
I feel like
no,
it's a
let's like
facade.
that
I feel like it's
You
a
wanna just-
facade.
It
Slow
really
down.
is. It's probably, I'm guessing
doesn't
she's
like
vegan,
potato
probably.
chips?
I
Yeah.
love potato chips. Rap
Very much a
snacks.
thing. So, anyways,
On
get on
another
point.
topic.
Anyway,
To get on
about
point.
that, off our
There's
ADHD,
no on point with that.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's like,
about that.
You could
it's
start
interesting, how everything, like, before we started the cameras and everything, everybody was loud as fuck, and now suddenly everybody's being real
We're
quiet
all
and
woke.
shy. What's
No.
going on?
Is that
Come
what
on.
it is?
Oh, you wanted us to be loud. No problem.
No,
I can't hear
Okay, no
anything
problem.
over Isaac crunching this can next to me.
Wow.
So
What's wrong?
It's
with
like
you?
ASMR for me.
somebody's nervous.
It's the ASMR for me. It's the crunching for me.
I don't want it. I'll stop. All right.
It's okay.
it's the thigh touching for me.
Stop.
It's the constant
There's no- it's
beer
not
slurping
weird.
for me.
Oh.
Is it really constant?
It is pretty constant.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay, though.
It's not a big deal, right?
It's
a
the
big
trying
deal.
to be
It's-
funny to my right for me.
No.
So, how long has this lineup been existing?
Oh. Well,
Is it existing?
yeah. Well, because so.
That's a better statement.
All right, so no, stop. Hold on. Well, there is an explanation. So pretty much the way it happened is that we've had a previous lineup that was kind of solid. You guys remember me being the front man.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was a transition where I automatically, all of a sudden, switched over to guitar. Well, Ryan left, and usually like Ryan, I kind of taught most of everything he knows because he's great, but he's like picked up more things along the way. But pretty much
They go back years.
Yeah, I go back years. So it's like I think
Years.
the only person that could really do a forethought, because I mean I wrote all the music in general, so it's like beforehand. So but when we were in the studio the first time, all of that was me, other than bass and drums and my those members like helping me write like back then, But other than that, what I mean, I did vocals, I play guitar, so. And like Ryan kind of picked up in the middle of when we were recording there, and then before we really did much, he had to end up going back for family reasons. So I was like, okay, so we can either find a guitar player that can play the way Ryan played, or we can find a vocalist. And so we thought that it would be a little bit easier to find somebody that could do vocals rather than play guitar. So we kind of advertised and found Joey. We had, and he's been in the band for...
January. So 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't
And
believe it's been
then-
that long
That's what
already.
I was just thinking, yeah.
It's funny how this year's gone by
Yeah,
quickly.
right.
This
Just
year's flown
crazy.
by.
Yeah.
Not in a great way either.
And then Aaron came into the band when, like,
January
around...
last year. It
Yeah.
was
So
I feel like
literally
he's been in
the
the band for
same
about a year
day
and a half
he
or
tried
more.
out was the same day I tried out the year before. So it's
Oh,
been a year
wow.
and 8 months for me.
Anniversary
Nice.
vibes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Hell yeah.
And so we had some, we've had some drummer issues. We were in, like, right before COVID happened, where we were about to make runs and stuff like that. And then, we've gone in and out of drummers until finally, once the whole COVID thing happened and nobody could do anything and all of our plans went up in smoke, then we were like, well, do what everybody else is doing and go record.
Yeah.
So
We had a great drummer, Skylar, that was having a kid, and everyone knows what it's like to have a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What are
Kind
you
of
gonna
puts a
do?
damper on everything. So we had to get somebody in.
For
Comes in
the
this guy.
runs.
And yeah, so he's the one filling in for what we're doing now.
So he's gonna
Hell
be
yeah.
pretty much in our music videos and doing everything when it has to do with this record as far as drum wise. So as for that, but
Speaking of,
So how long
you know,
he's got
shout
a
out to
record
Travelers,
coming
shout
out.
out to
How
Hell
long
yeah.
has he
You know,
been
shout out
in
to
the
Takers,
band
too.
now? Then
Yeah, how long has he been a part of the lineup?
Well, we gotta think
I wanna
about-
say about roughly May, because it was
That's what I
it
was
was about
thinking.
about a month before
Yeah.
Fried Fest, and then I
Well,
went there for about 2 weeks
Fred,
straight
July.
at their house, and I would just go every single day after work and practice the tunes 2 weeks before Fried Fest, and then
yeah.
Wow.
coming into Fried Fest, I mean, I had a blast. And
That
then-
was
That was a
So,
fun
yeah,
But
show.
initially-
that was such a fun
Yeah,
show.
and-
Super early,
show
but
too.
And it was just really cool because I've never done it
Fried
before.
Fest.
Like I've never been to Fried Fest, and
Oh,
then
cool.
I had just made a post because I went to school for music, but I was just kind of looking for, just work. But I've always liked Aforethoughts music since I've known Isaac. I've known him like pretty much longer than anyone else in the band. But yeah, I was just kind of looking for some side projects, little side hustle with some money. But I decided to not charge these guys because I was just like, I actually enjoy making the music with them and everything.
Hell
and
yeah.
They help me a lot too. So it's been pretty cool the past 4 months. really.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah,
So
Pride
basically
Fest was
the-
a really good
The
time.
answer to the question is 4 months. Then
Yeah, for the current lineup.
So well, it's
Four
like
takes.
it's a little
Four
weird
takes.
because we do have, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, Jacoby's in other bands.
We've had to juggle with making things happen. We've also had another drummer that didn't work out, and
Nope.
Member changes are rough.
Member
And
changes
everybody goes
are-
through it.
Yeah,
We're
and you think it's gonna be great,
We're
and then
now
it just
working
doesn't.
with another drummer that should be coming in 2021 that we're not gonna mention anything about yet.
We don't know.
We have a lot coming for this new album.
Yeah.
That a lot of people is gonna be stoked for.
Hopefully.
So, what can you guys tell us about the new record? Like, what do you?
There's gonna be a feature.
There's a feature.
We're
A
say
A
that.
feature?
that's the
That's all we're
A
saying.
That's all we can't say.
Should
Okay.
I was gonna say, should
Aaron?
we just tell them?
No,
Okay,
no,
no,
that's where you
no.
stop it. You don't
Yeah.
even hint
We're
at
gonna
it.
want
say
more,
a
you
very
know?
popular.
Stop it.
The
Old
publicist
indie
is
band.
saying no.
Stop it.
No.
All
Well,
right.
I already have a few ideas. That it
Yeah.
could
Eh,
be
we're not
said,
gonna
but
guess.
I'm not
You
gonna go
don't.
into it.
Thank
Poor
you.
Tom.
You
I
can
would
go
go as
ahead
far
and
as to
continue
say
on
that-
Yeah.
one then.
So okay, cool.
Everyone's trying to
We just want to.
Getting off of the topic
Yeah.
of the record because Joey's
Fuck
giving me a
around.
really cool face right now.
Ixnay.
One
On to
question
the
that
next.
one question that I
Next.
really want to know is what are give me a couple for each of you. What are some of your influences as just for you guys as musicians and for Aforethought as a whole? What are some influences musically for you
Wanna
guys?
start with me?
Yeah.
Start with you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as far as me, like influences in music, it ranges from everything from like 30s big band to like I don't know, like Lorna Shore and Chelsea Grin. So like you get from the stuff that I always listened to growing up, and I take the crazy part is like our new single Umbermea is based off of like you guys have heard of the Ink Spots. They have a lot of songs on like the Fallout games.
I've probably heard some of it.
They
but-
have a song that's called Me, Myself, My Shadow, which is where the original idea for Umbermea came from.
Okay.
So, like, I take influence from every single thing I listen to.
That's awesome.
But as far as, like, lyrical writing and, like, vocal technique and whatnot, I've always been one of those vocalists that tries to mimic as much as possible so that my range is not something that's going to be, like, finite. And at that point, like, I would say my biggest influences is probably like Rise Against and Silent Planet, at least right
Oh,
now.
Hell yeah, I love Silent Planet.
Oh man,
Yeah, Rise Against
it's
is
absolutely
good, too.
crazy how
Listen to his lyrics.
Garrett is an incredible.
Yeah.
Listen to him sing. Period. Dude, you can tell it's all Silent Planet.
I mean,
100%.
I could tell slightly from like warm ups to
The part where he's
I was
like,
just like,
singing
okay,
and
I
then he
see
goes
this.
straight into screaming, and it's like, Silent Planet.
Yeah, and see the thing is, I don't want to be like super like my old influences for screaming. When I was in my borderline deathcore band, were like Capture the Crown and Danny Worsnop from Asking. So
Okay.
like, and then of
Obviously
course,
pre-surgery
Yeah,
and
exactly.
pre-butt rock shit.
Yeah.
You guys tell me
Okay,
you
good.
guys want
That's
the blues
acceptable.
country
yeah.
stuff?
So like,
do.
I always used to try to do like the highest highs and the lowest lows, but now it's just like, what can I do to kind of sound different, you know?
Right. Heck yeah. Okay, cool.
Isaac, you?
Well, me, like I have like a intense like bluegrass background. so-
Undergrowth.
Bluegrass?
Bluegrass.
Okay.
So like most of my family are like I was kind of raised a little sheltered because my dad and like we're like intense Southern bluegrass musicians and like back for generations. So it's like it's kind of bred into me that way. And like I didn't even really know much rock and roll until I was like when Guitar Hero 2 came out and I got a PlayStation. Like
Oh, wow.
really, like I know that's really kind of dumb, but really that's
No.
what happened. And like that, you know what I mean? And that's what exposed me to that. And then I went to my first show and then got into my first band. So it's like, so the influences, like my main influences then, like when I was like an early teenager was like My Chemical Romance.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Gosh, Panic.
Okay.
And so those are like my early
I can
influences.
see that.
Yeah.
Mention
awesome.
Emery.
And then Emery, not as much Emery, but I love Emery, but more Under Oath and Norma Jean,
Okay.
and now, you know what I mean, more like beach style, like East Coast bands like that, like I've always really stuck to, like Hundredth. I don't know if you guys know.
I've heard of them.
Love Hundredth,
I've
like
never
Counterparts.
listened to them
yeah.
really, but I know
So
the
those are
name.
my real big main influences, and He Is Legend.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
a legend.
Can't
Yeah,
go
some
wrong with
Hometown
that.
Heroes. Yeah.
They're great.
So,
Suck Out
That's
the
me.
Poison was a great album.
oh yeah, bro.
I
Yeah.
don't really care for their newer stuff, but that album was great.
I am stuck on Time to Stain. Love that song. So that's newer. But and then White Bat, like. I still like the new stuff. Yeah, but yeah, that's me really.
Okay. Word.
Jacob Cobe.
What'd you call me?
So Jacoby 1, Kenobi.
Yeah, kind of like in the same light as Isaac. My family predominantly is like from the South, so a lot of like country influence. I grew up in a Baptist church, so lots of really fast-paced like gospel kind of tunes. Grew up with that, but then I really got a taste of like I don't know how to put this, but like secular music.
Yeah, I know exactly
like,
what that
not
means.
non-Christian music, but it was like when I was first exposed to like that kind of sound, I was just immediately influenced. Like Godsmack got me really into music at a very young age. But then I was listening predominantly to a lot of early like Christian metalcore, because a lot of those bands in the early 2010s were, you know, profound in their faith. Not so much now, but you know, maybe it was just sort of an agenda they were pushing to kind of get exposure.
They just made that cut of
You know,
being able
using
to
that.
be.
But I never paid attention to it because I was just really invested in their music and, you know, really invested into drumming and wanting to sound like that. So it was like bands like August Burns Red.
Okay.
I bought their first I bought Messengers at a Christian bookstore in 2007.
Wow.
And that was like their first banger album. And then Under Oath, of course. Bands like Close Your Eyes.
Yep. Did you ever
He
get
did.
into War of
He got into like
Ages?
Panic, and I like Panic at the Disco too. All Time Low.
Hell yeah.
But then it kind of like started progressing a lot more heavier and heavier and heavier. It's, like now it's like Animals as Leaders, Periphery,
Nice.
Slaughter to Prevail, After the Burial. Really kind of like more progressive bands. I've really
A little bit
drawn
on the
more
techie side.
in that. But then that kind of leads me back to, you know, some basic stuff too, like Tower of Power and James Brown. Like
Right.
funky jazz
Okay.
kind of stuff. I'm really
Yeah.
into that. And Buddy Rich, as a drummer, looked up to him a lot. Kind of like the big band thing you were talking about. Like I draw a lot of influence from all kinds of things, but
That's awesome.
Definitely
yeah, a lot of
shows
the
in your
new like
drumming.
progressive gent movement. I've been following a lot more suit in my artistic ability in that.
Very cool.
So,
I think it's important to draw from like older classics too, because
Yeah.
a lot of those people paved the way.
exactly.
You know,
yeah.
and I feel like a lot of people think because our band is this genre or subgenre, people get so caught up in genres
Right.
that they forget
really
to pay
do.
homage to
Well,
the
'cause
real OGs.
You almost
So that's
forget
really
about
cool.
what it's really about, which is just
Yeah.
the music. It's
Yeah,
not-
about
the original
making
message,
music.
absolutely.
Hey man, we're
Shouldn't be about
melodic
this or
technical
that.
deathcore, and this is how
stick
we
that.
sound all the time.
Stay in the lines. So,
I mean, it works for some people, but
I mean, some people you need that. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that. But anyways,
I feel like you kind of have to state that from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you come out as a new band and you're not pushing for that right off the gate, then
Right.
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And if you have 3 albums that are similar, and then the 4th album you completely throw a left-hander, people are going to be like, whoa,
There
because
goes
you'll
half your
gain
fan
some
base,
fans, but you're
yeah.
also going to lose some,
Yeah,
too.
Right.
and I've seen a lot of backlash with bands like that. Like, with my favorite, like one of my favorite East Coast bands, like 100th, I mentioned, like they did that hard, like they were like super slam, passionate, hardcore, and then all of a sudden they went this crazy, vibey, ambient singing.
Like Bring Me the Horizon is huge
Yeah,
because
that's
it's like
one I was thinking, but I
I was
wasn't going to
like,
say
you
it.
Yeah. Deathcore to radio
you listen to
rap.
Bring
What
Me
is
the
going
Horizon's
on?
first album, and then you listen, like, you now can listen to the same band on the radio on
WLBC.
93.9 or 100.9, like on the pop
Oh,
station.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's like, this is the same dudes that played Shadow Moses, like,
or even
heavy
crazier,
ass
like
banger
Chelsea
tracks.
Smile, like
Yeah.
Or even, like, before that.
Drown. I mean, that's such an emotional rock song,
Oh,
too.
Off the
God.
Heat.
And then,
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
now it's just, I don't know, like, it's still pretty good, and like the stuff like Youngblood, it's cool to see like a lot of our influences get more involved in outside.
I mean, you develop
genres,
as,
I guess, or
as
artists.
musicians, you develop
know?
your capabilities
Well, that's-
change.
Corey
But see,
Taylor's
we
in
never
everything.
used to stick to that though.
He
And that's what I
really
think is
is.
cool is like even our influences are finding outside influence still
Yeah.
to this day, and I think
yeah.
it's just ever expanding the influence you can get from people.
When I had a conversation with somebody the other day that was where we were talking about how it seems like the younger generations like definitely seem to be pulling. We're more open to all sorts of different genres and all sorts of
Well, that's
different
what it
things.
should
Right.
We're not quite as clicky.
and see, that's what
Thank
makes
goodness,
So-
bro. Thank goodness. That gives me hope for our band. Cause
it really does.
It just seems like kids that are into metal stuff are also into hip hop stuff.
Right.
Are also
Right.
into
Same.
I think we got Aaron left there.
Yeah.
Can I guess one that I've always thought was Aaron Carter?
Oh, God.
Bro, I
We were
hit
just talking
people with
about it
Aaron
Yep.
Carter
the other
all the
day.
time.
That's what I'm
and
saying,
No
like-
one catches on. No one.
No, like
Like, 'cause
Dude, that was like
Aaron,
middle
oh,
school stuff for me.
Aaron,
They're like, Aaron.
What am I going to do with you?
And then my brother-
Always
my brother's
making a
name-
big
Why do you know that
mistake.
many words?
Stop.
can nobody
Always
do it like
making a
Aaron
fool.
can? Yeah, I
My
feel
brother
like-
name's Nick. So
No
you know,
way.
Aaron.
So yeah, that's kind of
funny.
is that one of your influences? Like,
No, far from.
not even Candy.
Not even.
Not even Candy?
Death
Not
Row
even
Candy.
candy.
My
That's a good
life
one.
growing
It is a
up
good one.
was
Makes me feel old, actually.
my
really
grandpa
old.
had 13 kids. None of them played music besides my dad. But my uncle, he also loved music. So I grew up on classic rock and grunge.
Okay.
100%. So like the Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, La-Di-Da all the way through.
Ooh,
Chains.
Days of the New, Nirvana, all the fun.
talking my language
And
now.
shout out to Papa
So
Riddle.
that is my inspiration of any music I play. Like I got another band, Garfield, that it's all like punk grunge. That as dirty as it gets. And as far as my inspiration and the way I play bass, I just started playing bass probably 7 years ago because of my buddy David, which was one of the guitar players in the band a while ago, but he ended up dropping out. He was the lead guitar player. He got me into music. He played guitar better than anyone I've ever seen before at that time. And so I was like, I'll play bass for the band. Ended up learning how to play bass properly, having fun with it, la-di-da. Now I play bass the way I play bass. After learning through him, I learned of Evan Brewer and John Gomm and all these people that get like real fancy with the way they play music. So
John Gomm is a beast.
John
dude.
Gomm is a beast. So I
He's
originally
crazy.
started on acoustic. I should say that too. But so learning how to use fingering on acoustic, and then going to electric, and then going to bass, I ended up naturally knowing how to use my fingers on the bass. And I learned of Evan Brewer, and then started learning how to do all the tappy stuff and getting real fancy with it, getting like tone fancy, all the fun stuff with it. And
Some Victor Wooten shit.
Victor Wooten is a god. Yeah, so that's one of the things I do too. The thumb pick.
Yeah,
I can do the thumb pick, but I can't get the thumb pick
Well, yeah, that's not-
comfortably yet.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I can do thumb pick all day.
Can you do thumb pick thumb?
00111.
Yeah, 0-1 AB.
Binary.
Left down, right up, left down, right up.
Binary.
All weapons.
But no, I can't. I don't know what the hell you just said.
I don't know what any of you guys are talking about. I just wanted to fit in, so I mentioned some
Hey,
picking.
you're
and
doing
Cool,
your
yeah.
best.
Some
He's all
plucking.
like thumb pick, and I can't even pick
It's-
thumb pick thumb, and I can't even
Hard
really
to
thumb pick
explain
thumb
unless you play.
So you just can't pick it up.
Can you
Yeah.
flop hooplas?
But can you?
I can oobla.
Oobla?
And I can ooblay.
Can you flog
But can I
mollies?
oobla?
Yeah, I can't. I've
don't
never
know.
flogged any
Hey,
mollies.
Aaron, can you teach me how to Dougie?
Can you teach him how to
I can
Dougie?
I can get up, teach you how to Dougie right now.
Don't
You want
teach
to?
him. Do not
No.
teach him.
All
how
the
to
girls
Dougie.
love it. I
Yeah. You know, all his bitches do love him. You know.
Yeah,
They do
as,
be
as
loving
far
it.
as
They
where
do
my
be loving
fucking
them.
family comes from, I don't know if you guys cuss on here, but as far as where my
doesn't matter,
family
yeah.
comes from, I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, I mean,
It's all grunge, it's all dirty, it's all fun.
You walk into his dad's
So-
house. It's literally
My
a
dad
whole
painted
wall,
a wall pink
and
Floyd
it's Pink
through the door and curtains.
and it is sick.
It is
like
He
So-
painted the curtains.
Yeah, curtains and everything, blinds,
it's
blah.
literally the cover of Dark Side of the Moon, right? No,
Wow.
or, no.
It's all a brick wall with the dark side of the moon on it, with a pig in the sky and two teachers. I believe that's it.
And it
I would
is
love to drink some warm tea and go to that
sick.
house.
And his
And he-
table is even crazier.
Yeah, we're both woodworkers.
Yeah.
His woodworking skills off the chart. Doesn't make
Wow.
sense,
That
Does
sounds
not.
awesome.
dude. Doesn't make sense at all. I stutter a lot. Take it. Take it. Suck it. There you go.
God.
All right.
And that's Aaron's influences.
And that's my influence.
sucking a lot.
It was a journey. I feel like it was a journey. You really took us through. It was good.
I
gosh,
could
this
take
guy
a
just
whole
sucked me
podcast
in.
to my family.
So on to the next question. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Unless.
So the name of the band, where did that come from?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, so I moved up here. Like my mom lived here. Like my mom and dad divorced. My mom lived here, and my dad lived in North Carolina. So I've been back and forth kind of my whole life. And so long story short, at the latter half of my teen years, I ended up in Indiana and getting an apartment. And getting a band together with some of the original lineup with Aforethought that you guys even know. And we kind of really tried for the band thing for a long time, and I felt like it never really worked out, and I feel like we always felt like lived in a time period that was ahead of ourselves, like a little bit. So we always lived in Aforethought. So when it all fell apart, and I decided to like rethink the whole band, I called it Aforethought.
Well, that's
Okay.
actually pretty dope.
Very
Because
cool.
that's what we always lived in, and we thought we were something we weren't.
Yeah.
So
It's actually because we never think of things before they happen. So it's,
would be nice.
It's just irony.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was a little yeah.
So like when you're writing, like what's your process? Like what's the first thing that happens? Like is
I
it just,
have
like,
to
riff by riff or
My thing is that I mean, if I'm being honest, but
It's more than less week by week, and how long of the time he sits in that room all fucking day.
sometimes it's just I process.
Just going at
Jamming.
different. He's his own worst criticism, as
Of
they all
course.
say.
Oh, we all are.
And he
Bro.
does that for hours.
Amen.
and I'll
And
do it, and I
live
can't
with
help it.
him to watch it, and it's a horrible mess. But they come out great.
They come out good.
Yeah,
like
so
I
you-
think
They
they
come out
come out
clearly,
good.
yeah.
And most of the time they're
But
accidents.
Man, does he work his ass off on them?
so
Yeah.
basically not planned. You just kind of feel it out.
No. So what I'll do is I'll figure out something and I'll remember it, and then
It'll change
and
three
then it'll
times.
change 3 times, and then I'll filter it through the band a bunch, and then we kind of jam it and jam it and jam it, and then it'll become its own version. kind of, and that's the way it would. It's like
Very cool.
yeah, I would love to. Like I used to map them all out and do all that kind of stuff, and lately, jamming them seems to be a little bit more natural. And once they're solidified a little bit more, it'll be easier to map out. So
Gives it a little bit more dirt, which is awesome.
Plus, I
Yeah.
feel like when you're writing, and I've never been a part of a band, but like whenever I write music, even on my own, it's a lot easier to just feel
yes, and
than
that's
it is
all
to plan.
Yes.
And I feel like when people are listening to your record, they can very easily detect whether it was a feeling or a plan.
Yeah.
And you guys are all feels.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things about the band. From the first time I saw you guys at the Hoosier Dome, I was just like engrossed. I mean, it was
Really?
just incredible. It's
Incredible.
watching you guys is definitely a whole experience.
Wow.
And the best way that I've always felt to describe you guys is you guys just kind of like elevate me. Like when I'm watching and I'm listening, and even more so now that Joey's in the band and you guys do the dual vocals, a little bit about what I was talking about earlier, it just, you guys have transcended. And it just really is a whole experience. And me personally watching, and even today, like, it's just really cool and really emotional, and I can feel all the passion, and that's not something that is easily felt.
No.
You know, whether you're local, whether you're touring, like people can feel, and
Yeah.
that's the biggest way we connect as people is feeling.
And I'm sorry.
No,
but
you're
yeah,
good.
definitely is a reason is like why I joined,
Same.
because the first time I did see them, it was very I think the two words I used to Isaac was just like that was the rawest and most authentic set from a local that I had seen in a while, just because this was back when it was like the fuck the call out culture, like before that song, and it was just like, man, I could just I felt that, and you know, and like the music itself just reminded me of why I got into drumming in the first place and
Wow,
why I
that's
chased
huge.
metal anyway.
That's
And
huge.
it's just nice to come into a room full of people who just know sonically what it is they're wanting to achieve. Mm-hmm. You know, and it makes my job easier coming in to, you know, Isaac presents me the song, this is how it's done, you know, and I get in his kind of headspace too, and it's fun for me because it just allows me to grow as a person and as a musician, and like even witnessing Controvert at Fried Fest, you know, it's like there's bands like that and like Aforethought I didn't know existed that just like actually really inspired me in a way, like
Hell
kind of
yeah.
set me to like really push myself more
Hell
in
yeah.
Indiana and overall as a scene, like just lots of talent here, you know.
Absolutely. There's so
Absolutely.
much
Yeah.
talent here.
Lots of talent.
You gotta
It's-
find it though.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is still
Yeah, that's
very
the hard
much
part,
hidden.
but
Yeah.
it very, very much exists, man.
Well, there's plenty of drummers. Just finding one that's either not egotistical or just a fuck.
Oh
all the way
my
around.
gosh, bro.
We're
We're not
We're not getting into that one.
We're moving on from that as well.
Yes, we
Record
did.
info and drummers, no more.
Yeah. Well, we've that's kind of
We
like
love
why
you,
we stick
Jacoby.
it to a four piece. You know what I mean? We're gonna minimalize. You know what I mean? As for
Oh,
right
yeah,
now,
less
you know what I
people,
mean?
the
Aaron, I,
easier.
and Joey are kind of the core members of the band as of now.
Hell
So
yeah.
you know, Jacoby's definitely 100%
Only
writing
on
and
his own
composing
personal,
the whole album.
situations. He
That's
has
a
a
good
lot
thing,
going
too.
on.
He's in 3 bands. I mean, shout out Takers, shout out Travelers, you know what I mean? And
For sure.
they're doing a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And we're really blessed to have him even be helping us, much less do it for, you know,
Yeah, that's
what
a
he's
lot
doing
of
it for.
bands
Yeah,
to be a
that's
part
It's a
of.
lot,
It's incredibly
and
taxing.
they're actually working too. So
right,
it's like,
right.
it's not easy, you know what I mean? Coming out, driving, and you know what I mean? Coming out to our house, you know, it's a
It's
lot.
an hour drive.
Yeah,
Oh wow, where do
I
you
know what that
live?
is.
Indy.
I live pretty much 10 minutes from downtown
Okay.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
And
Pretty
then
close
we're-
to the Dome.
Okay.
Shouts to the Dome and Andrea.
Yeah.
The Dome is one of my favorite venues.
Yeah.
Dome is
Dome
home,
is
man.
home.
Still
Yep.
love
Dome is home.
throwing shows
Dome is
there.
awesome.
It was
I love
The
Dome.
first experience I ever
Is it
had at the
gone?
Hoosier Dome, I walked into the bathroom and there was no toilet paper, but it was an experience. I got
Kinda
that
waddle.
toilet paper.
You gotta-
How I will not disclose, but I got it.
got it. You did
And
your
It was
I
someone's
left.
t-shirt, wasn't it?
I left that venue and I told my friends, listen, if you're gonna go to the Hoosier Dome, it's gonna slap. It's gonna be a great time. Bring a roll of
Bring your own
TP.
TP.
Yeah,
Just throw it in the bag.
And,
But like I've never had that problem since. I think it was a one-time thing, but it made the experience so much better.
Yeah,
I was
'cause you
reading
had
all
to-
the stuff on the
Never mind.
walls and just like, how am I gonna
Yeah.
finish this process here? Like it was great. I loved it.
And I had to waddle.
So, individually, what's been like your top experience playing music?
That's good.
That's a good question.
Not as a whole, just individually.
And any projects you've ever been in.
Just
or
because you
anything,
guys
yeah.
haven't all been in the same project
All
for a while,
right,
so I don't want to
so
do that to
not
you
even a
guys.
whole
Top
year.
experience of playing music. One of my favorite experiences in playing music was a band that me and, like I mentioned earlier, David Ruffin, the guy that got me into playing bass, we started a project called Key Cinema with my brother as a drummer, and it was all instrumental. The song Umbra Mea came from me making that up like 10 years ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
that song has been in my library for a minute, as long as, and then he heard, while he was working on his van, he heard me playing that in the garage, and he was like, that's sick, let's make that part of something. And I was like, that's something I've had forever. I'm dolled out from that one, but we ended up making it into a song, which is now Umbra Mea, our
Fucking
single.
beautiful song, by the way.
I love it.
It's a beautiful song.
It's a great break in the like.
Yeah,
just
it's
second,
a great
you know,
break
gives me
into
time to
something
tune.
that's so, thrashy, whatever the crap you want
because
to call it.
I it's like going into influences is just like, even like my thrashy influences, like we still have that side of Aforethought, you know what I mean? Like we still got this sweet little.
I think it just shows
pretty side.
vulnerability in that song. Everything else
Yes.
is very in your face and emotional, but this is actual like hurt and
Yeah.
vulnerability, like a call out for help in a way, in a sense.
That song is a whole like moment. Like even earlier when you guys performed it, I was just chilling listening, and that's kind of what I mean when I say like it kind of makes me feel elevated mentally, because that song is such a nice break in the set to kind of soften a little bit and kind of give out that message of like it's okay to feel hurt, it's
Yeah.
valid, it's important, and it's not going to go away until you feel it. And even if you do, who knows how long it'll stay.
Yeah.
And songs like that I feel like are not easily found
Yeah.
among these days in bands, and that song is just a whole mood for me.
Yeah.
Like I told Aaron, that's on my heavy rotation playlist. It just played in the house earlier
Yeah.
in the morning. It's a great song, so
I love it.
definitely
like,
vibe.
Well, it's
Makes me
just hard.
happy.
It's like easy to hate the world right now.
Oh yeah,
It's like super easy to hate the world right now, and it's
Yeah.
like there's so much more. There's such a reason to fight for it, bro. Like, and there's like, and that's kind of what we kind of want to do, because there's a lot of hate. It's easy to hate. So much easier to hate than to love. Always. It's the easiest thing to do. It's
Yeah.
easy. It's the obvious choice. It's not the other way around, bro. It's like harder, but it's way worth it. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's with Key Cinema as that band was one of my favorite experiences ever with a band. No offense to Aforethought. It's just one of my favorites because it was very instrumental. We had no singer. We
I'll just
had a
see
guitar
myself
player. We had me, and we had a drummer. It's a 3-piece, and we pulled off what Polyphia does.
Very
You
cool.
know, and
That's
that's what
actually sick.
I love so much. I love getting technical. And other than that, my favorite experience with Aforethought ever, it wasn't with, The Plot in You and Moth to Flame. It wasn't with any of these big bands ever. It was one of the dirtiest local shows I ever played, which was a skate shop that me and Isaac skate with, Nomad Skate
Shout
Shop.
I witnessed that show.
And
Shout
it
out
was-
Nomad.
and
Shout
it
out
was
Paul.
on a dirty, poorly put together stage, and we was running so many chords to make anything happen ever. It was worse than a house show. It was the best experience
10
we
degrees
ever had.
It was.
Hell
it was
we
yeah.
had
just-
people
it was
skating
Halloween.
over a bonfire.
Yeah, it was
That's
Halloween.
They
badass.
was
Yeah.
doing whatever they could, and the ground wasn't even half level.
No.
It was like you couldn't get any speed, and people were trying to backside flip over a bonfire that you couldn't jump over
For the clout.
No
more, no
and
less.
flip
And then the
flops.
board just goes.
Yeah, it just lands in the fire.
my brother tried to 180 over it. It was a frontside 180 of all things.
Shout out
It was
Nick.
weak. It was horrible. But he had a pizza outfit on. It was cool. He was wearing
The pizza outfit saved the
Saved
day.
it with
Saved
the
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 moment.
pizza outfit saved the day.
Yeah, love it.
But that was my favorite show I've ever played in my
That sounds
life.
dope.
That does
It
sound
was
dope.
just because there was so much love there.
oh my gosh, dude.
So much love. Everyone cared for every band that was there.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
That's hard to
And
come by anymore.
That's yeah. So other than Key Cinema, that was my favorite by
Word.
far. And I'm waiting for April.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
As far as that, we're going to the next guy.
Yeah.
Hints all the way through this podcast.
And Joey's still looking at you like,
There's Spider-Man. April.
I have a feeling that I might be getting a message later on. Like, you might want to cut a few things out.
Oh my goodness.
You know that one part,
why'd
like
you
right there? Can
say
you
that?
just like take that out?
That shouldn't have ever been a thing. We talked about this before.
Anyways.
you're getting the look again.
I can't.
Joey out on me.
It's
Yeah,
his favorite
Jacoby.
look. He knows it.
I can't say anything though myself because I've been
favorite
involved in a few
musical moment?
podcasts that have had to be
my-
severely
I
edited.
guess my
So
favorite musical moment. I would say, yeah, there's two. One, I didn't get to actually play the show. We had a misfortunate understanding and could not play the gig at the Emerson, but it was a show with after the burial, Born of Osiris, and Volumes.
I remember
And
that show.
It was a fat Sumerian bill.
Yep, it was just
And
a
we were
Sumerian show.
and we were supposed to headline that show, and then unfortunately we had a guitarist who I can't say unfortunately in his case, he just cared too much about his school, so he just wanted to pursue that very heavily. So in sacrifice of playing that show, we allowed him to miss the show so he could do his homework that night. And it literally broke my heart, not being able to play with people who I considered my heroes
Sure.
in high school. But then we did get to play with My Ticket Home, so that was a fun show too.
yeah.
Puke Rock, as they called it.
Yeah.
It was cool. But I think an actual moment that I got to play that was musically the best was either the A War Within show that sold out at the Hoosier Dome, or playing at the State Fair when I was 16, and we opened my church rather. We opened for it was a solo Christian artist, but then it was Toby Mac, and then Skillet was headlining.
What?
Yeah,
That's-
at the
Skillet
Indiana State
slept
Fair.
on. I don't care if
And
you
I
come
was
for
like,
me or not.
I don't even
Skillet.
care
That was my
about
first
the
concert.
first one. Toby Mac's kind of cool because DC Talk back in the day
Yeah, bro.
was sick.
Yeah,
but
DC
then
Talk was that shit.
yeah,
Diverse
dude.
City though too. is a
But
dope
then
record.
I heard I saw Skillet on
Oh my
was
God.
gonna be there before the sermon, and I was just like, dude, this is the coolest thing. Just playing and then seeing the grandstands at the State Fair,
Right.
just full of people, and it
Oh,
was a
that
different
sounds
mind and life then, watching people worship, but it was just sonically and musically one of the coolest things ever. Just
Oh my
looking
God,
over,
that's so
and you see
cool.
Skillet,
Yeah.
just chilling. It's bro, that
Can't top that.
you'll never get that opportunity again.
That's
but
so cool.
So
Skillet
cool.
slaps.
They do.
Sometimes I still, when nobody's home, I look around and then I blast Comatose and dance around.
Good choice.
Yeah, do a quick look.
Or I get really emotional. This is the last night you'll spend alone.
Such a good album.
God, dude.
God, that was a
I'm listening to that now when I
was
go
a
home.
different time, man. That takes me back to 1,000 Foot Crutch and.
Oh my God.
Don't get me started. I'm a
Top
little
list.
church
6.
kid, dude. Yes.
Juliana theory.
There you go.
Oh man.
We
See,
could go on.
I
we
was
could
born
go
in that
on.
shit too, so I know all of the Christian post-hardcore, hardcore, metalcore
Dude,
bands.
my dad went
basically.
as far back as Striper.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
what-
that's where we came from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's
we
me
all
and this
came from
fuck
that
over here.
same
Like, that's our
background,
whole
man.
life.
That's what we grew up in.
Wow.
Miller.
And Bloodgood and
That's an old one, dude.
It was actually War of Ages that got me into the heavier side of it.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Not to
course, then
flex,
you
but I
had,
did
like,
own every Reliant K album.
In the midst of lions and stuff.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
I love Realize.
I haven't heard
Anatomy
them
of
in
Tongue in
like
Cheek is still
I
my
I listen
favorite
to
record.
them weekly. I love
Anatomy of
Shout
Tongue
out
in
Matthew
Cheek.
Thiessen.
Dude, that.
You
oh.
probably don't watch this. No, it's good.
Can you guys please cover Sadie Hawkins' dance just one time for me?
No.
Excuse me?
wow.
Isaac's like,
say
I've
that
already
for the
done a
band.
Goofy movie song, so
Honestly-
Which is another reason you guys remember.
I just
wow,
want to
never
cover
mind.
all of 5 score and 7 years.
Wow.
That whole album.
What?
I
All
would
of
just
it?
do all of it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's my favorite Reliant K album of all time.
That one did not hit for me.
Screw
But I
just one
respect
song,
it.
just
I
do the whole
respect it.
album.
Right, exactly.
I don't think I could do that personally, but it'd be cool to see somebody else do that.
Night at the Roxbury, you're up.
All right, fine. I'll just do it myself.
Anyways, yeah. So my actually my most I guess prevalent moment in music, because I've always been involved. Like I was like it was thrust upon me, but
Thrice upon me.
yeah. But it was like I wasn't even playing it. Like I remember. Cause I'd never been to a hardcore show. I got into a band, a pop punk band in high school, and I did not even listen to pop punk. And like I tried out, and it was god awful. And then I learned how to play bass, and it was better than the guitarist quit. Then I jumped on. But they knew what they were doing, so I got thrown into it really hard. Like they were booking big shows, and they were booking we were traveling around, so it kind of got thrust upon me immediately. So the first hardcore show that I ever saw was a band called Wretched and a band called Deception of a Ghost. And I remember
Deception.
I remember sitting on, I was at Tremont Music Hall when that was a thing in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I remember sitting on, because I didn't listen to hardcore music at all. It's the first time I saw hardcore dancing, there's slam dancing, all that stuff.
Wow.
I'd never seen that in my life. And I
What year was
remember
this?
finally sitting on,
What year was this?
This was probably 2010.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. And yeah, well, I didn't know anybody. And so I'm sitting on I remember sitting on the stage kind of was level with the floor. There was 5 subs on the floor. So the stage extended, and then there was a sub up here. So I sitting on this sub right here, and I was watching the band play, because it was a hole in the wall type deal, and being this is what I want to do.
Hell yeah, that was the moment.
This is what I want to do. It was I love this shit. And I hated screaming music, music was screaming in it, just because I was not even aware, but something in there clicked.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And that was that was my most prevalent, I guess.
That's a pretty dope sounding moment, actually.
Yeah.
Very cool.
For my favorite thing I've ever played, I've actually got one show, and then I have a one-off. But my favorite show I ever played was a little show called Mayhem in Muncie, ran by a guy named Justin Zacharias. He's thrown it quite a few years, but it was just a cultural cluster, and it was so amazing. The fact of the matter was, there was 11 or 12 bands on this bill. They ranged from everything from I don't know, I would say techno pop to deathcore. And regardless of what band was playing, you had the other bands up there supporting. And it was just one of those moments that showed the local scene coming together. And it was just such a fantastic show. The whole experience, I would play Mayhem in Muncie again, and it's not one of those things where you go and you expect it to be a hardcore show. It was just hey, this is the talent around, come check it out and support your local scene. So just the meaning of it, and that whole night, it was just the top experience for as far as playing shows. However, my top moment screaming, so back in 2017, I think it was, the year that Warped Tour did their 10-year anniversary with bands and stuff. So bands that hadn't been there in a decade. Atreyu came.
Oh, hell yeah.
And this is my first time seeing Atreyu. I picked up Atreyu back in 06, and I had never got to see them live. They'd broken up, and then all of a sudden they came back, and they're like, hey, we're going to play this Warped Tour. Well, Alex, their vocalist, got off stage and started moshing with us, and he let the crowd join in on Live, Love, Burn, Die. And everybody was just screaming around him. He held the mic straight up toward the sky. And I decided to use my high fries during that time. And you could hear it through the PA.
Oh, dude.
And it was
That's
so
sick.
stupid. I'm I could hear myself screaming next to him. And then I met him afterwards, and I told him that I was in a band at the time, and he told me he could actually pick my vocals out because he had
Fuck
an in-ear. And that was just my defining moment, because he was the one that made me want to be a screamer. listening to him like screaming with like back in like Butterfly Notes and The Curse, like
shit,
there was
yeah.
just so much rawness behind his voice. That was like, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then eventually I got to scream with him at a show, and it was just
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's another one of those moments, like once in a lifetime moments.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, that's sick. That's dope. I don't know. I feel like one question I want to ask, it might be silly, but I want to know if you guys could build your perfect tour. Any bands, it could be local, it could be, you would never ever think you would get to do it. This is your time to dream. Dreamers, I'm looking at you.
Can they be
Yeah,
dead?
but now let's throw a twist.
How many
in
bands?
it.
Hold on, but wait, it can be a 6-band tour. We'll do
Okay.
a 6-band package,
But,
even though
hold
nobody
on,
would
we'll
host
throw a
that.
twist on this. It has to be agreed upon by the band.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody has to agree
We've done
upon
individuals
Alright.
thus far, so let's throw a round.
it. You guys can be
Oh.
anywhere on the bill. You can be headline, you can be opening,
Let's
whatever.
see how this
but
turns out. 4 people,
Wait,
6
6
bands,
bands.
6 bands including Aforethought.
Okay.
All right, so
So we
as
have
far
5
as
bands to
6
choose from?
bands, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna name 3 that I dream of playing with, and 1 is very easy to come true. But out of the 3, oh god, I'll name 4. Fuck it, I'll add 1 more. 68,
Yeah.
obviously.
Okay.
Foxbat, which is
Probably.
a Kentucky,
It's actually
it's
logical.
the probably
Yeah, I know
that's
who
gonna
they
be
are. I
think they're
happening.
actually
That actually
Oh my
will
god,
happen.
Yeah.
I love them. Horse the band,
Ooh, fuck.
dude.
That would be.
If you could even just get them to get
That's
back
good.
together
We
for a tour with that.
68 and
good
Horse the
one.
Band, so that's
Horse
2 right
the
there.
Band.
Yeah, so there's 2 agreed
Yeah, there's
upon all of
2,
you so
yeah.
far. So
Yeah.
68
Band
Horse
would
the
be-
Band.
Yeah, so
Okay.
68 Horse the band. Follow Troy.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be
See,
more than
but I
kinda
wouldn't.
cool.
I
That
would.
be
What about
I
Hail
would
the
love to
Sun?
play
Green
Fall
Band.
Joy,
Hail
but
the
I wouldn't
Sun?
put them in that slot.
What about Hail the Sun? Come
Hail
on.
the Sun's
Not
actually
for
pretty
me.
sick,
Not for
but
me.
Not for me.
Really?
Not for me. Great band. Not for
Whatever.
me.
Still on 2.
Norma Jean? Come on, guys.
Still on
I would.
Let him
Yeah.
fucking answer
experience,
it.
bro.
Let him answer.
Sorry.
So I said 68, Follow Troy, Foxbat,
Horse the band.
and Horse the Band.
That's 5. That's
If I can add like Every Time I Die,
Oh,
yeah.
you know,
Damn.
Yeah.
like
That's my
let's
first one.
like
Oh,
get some
God.
orgasms going.
Yeah.
what record would they play though?
Oh,
Who cares?
Any of them?
Yeah.
I care.
You
A
care?
song from each.
I would love to. Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, that would
Yeah.
still be like, what, 10 songs?
Yeah.
You'd be
Right?
there forever.
Yeah.
Like, especially depending on which ones they picked. If they picked all the longest songs, you'd probably be there for about 40
Forever.
minutes.
I
Keith-
am
Keith
fine
is all
with
over
that.
the place,
I
though.
would be
Keith, they
too,
were supposed
shit.
to
Have you
do-
ever been to a Horse the Band show?
No.
I'm gonna let you know that is the best show I've ever been to in my life.
I can imagine
if
so.
you get,
Yeah. I bet.
if you ever, dude, I went to Chicago to see him because
Unless it's
that's
still
the only
your
place
skate
I could
plan, then
go.
That might
Yeah,
be up there
Dude.
with that.
best show I've ever been to in my life. Nathan is amazing. Nathan and dude, he passed out on stage drunk at the end of the show. I was hanging out with his wife. He got up and met me at the bar, and we were just chilling and drinking at the bar. Like the greatest fucking people too. Like, yeah.
So wait, did you guys agree on 2 or 3 so far?
I think we agreed on
2.
2
We agreed
because
on
he
2.
ran through all
Oh,
5
as,
of it.
no,
68 and Horse the Band.
I picked bands that I wanted as far
Well,
as
nah, we
what
agree
they
on
but
want.
they
two of them.
agreed on
Yeah,
68.
you
and
guys
Horse the
agree on
Band.
You guys agreed on
Are we
that.
doing Fall
He's
Troy?
like,
I'm down with Fall
agree
Troy.
on
No, hold on.
I'm-
we gotta keep it open. So
All right,
we'll
do
take
2.
2. Yeah,
What do you got?
If we're
because we're agreeing on it.
okay, if we're just gonna only agree on 2 instead of just naming.
No, name
who
more.
I
You
would
give me
like.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
like,
start
get
I'm
it.
saying. I'm
We're
saying.
gonna pick
Fine,
who
but we
you
gotta
like.
talk about
I'm saying 68's cool.
Yeah.
I would throw Project 86 on that bill.
dude. Yeah.
I
Okay.
would probably throw Under Oath on
Done.
the same bill.
No.
I would throw.
Not anymore.
No.
I
Not
would
new
throw
Under Oath.
Norma
No.
Jean, probably the
Definitely.
Chariot.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, I'm
That's
then-
5.
Thank from Josh.
And then
How many of us
Josh is doing Josh is
is in
doing
it.
work that night.
So we're,
Yeah, he's doing
we're gonna
work,
get
work.
Norma
Norma
Jean,
Jean's
Jerry,
gonna be there, so
68.
he's
Let's,
gonna
let's
appear.
get them all.
Yeah.
Josh is
Honestly-
working.
Throwing some Greyhaven.
I was
some
about to
old
say, what about
plot would be
Greyhaven?
sick. Like
Old plotting would
playing,
be
like
dope.
some older plot would be kind of cool.
All right. So
That'd be
I think
kinda-
you guys
yeah.
agreed on the Chariot on that
Definitely.
So
one.
want to
The
add the
Chariot
Chariot
for
as your
sure.
third? Okay, you
Sure,
should
yeah.
go
They say no to
Chariot.
Under Oath, but I
No.
think that'd be a cool bill.
Old Under Oath.
Old Under
Yeah.
Oath would be a
Chasing
killer
Safety.
bill.
So,
saying.
or just even disambiguation.
That
bro.
would be the
That's
only
my
album that would be acceptable
What?
for.
Define the fucking great
You.
line?
No.
no.
What?
Yeah, bro, Lost in the
Disambiguation
Sound of
was like-
Separation.
It wasn't a bad
It was
album, but it was
okay.
like
Lost in the Sound of
mainstream.
Separation and Disambiguation are god tier.
We
bro.
need an
Yeah.
entire podcast
False.
just to argue about Under Oath because this is.
There
Come
is
back-
a better.
come back
No,
around
I will
two.
say that.
What?
Under Oath.
What, bro? You're saying that Daniel Davidson is not as good as Aaron Gillespie?
No, I'm saying Aaron Gillespie is better than him, and he actually
What?
sang.
I would say you are wrong.
You are wrong.
I would say as a drummer, I would disagree with you on that one.
Okay, so
Three against
but
one.
who?
But hey.
Daniel's
I
an
mean, who
crazy
did they go
drummer.
back to though? You know what I mean?
I mean,
But
Aaron,
it's
Aaron
because
again.
Aaron's a
because
great
he's
drummer.
Aaron,
It was
bro.
because
Like
who's
it's
the
the
man?
band.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
but
David's
hold on,
a better
hold on.
drummer, right?
Hold on.
He
We've
was
all
in-
gone back
wasn't
to an
he
X,
in-
but
Yeah,
it's a
but
terrible
hold on. Who
Wasn't
did
he
they end
in-
with, though? Who did they end with?
Just
What?
getting deep.
Who did they end with? It wasn't Aaron, because when they broke up, Aaron wasn't with them.
I mean, that's on their. He's on
So-
their current record.
Well,
and
yeah, but
on
because
tour
they
with
broke
them.
up and got back together.
So that doesn't make like sense.
aside
the clout.
from
It was a
Under Oath.
resurrection, so to say.
They
Yeah, and I
only
mean-
hired David because because Aaron
He was
Gillespie literally
God
lived
tier.
in Haiti.
Well,
After
and-
the earthquake, he found some walk with God there.
Well,
with
and
his
Daniel's
wife. And then
pretty
David,
much
or whatever the fuck his
retired
nuts is,
from
yeah.
a lot of playing.
I mean,
Like,
Haiti is
he
quite
does a lot of
He
huge.
played
studio
one
work,
record
and he
with
does
Under
this.
Oath over
That's
the
true.
10 years that Gillespie laid down the
Yeah,
fundamentals.
don't get me
of
wrong. I like
drumming.
Aaron Gillespie.
Oh yeah,
I
don't get me
understand,
wrong.
like-
I think Lost in the Sound of Separation is just as god tier, but I'm just saying like
I think if you
I'm
were
not
to
gonna sit
actually
here
put
and
them
say
side by
this is
side and just let
bad,
them
though,
play
'cause I
as
did buy that
drummers,
record
it's
twice.
bracket.
So we have
records.
three
Right.
for sure.
I lost the record and then
Three
I bought
for
it
sure.
again.
What are yours?
I
Hate it.
want
I'm gonna
Norma
buy it
Jean
again.
on the record. I want Norma
On the
Jean
tour?
On the tour. On the tour. Yes, I want Norma G.
So is that 4?
and J. The experience.
So we have 68, the Chariot, Horse the Band, and you guys agree on Norma Jean or
Norma
no?
Jean.
I'm glad
Definitely.
everyone.
Yeah, I would say Norma
Horse
Jean
the
for
band's
sure.
number one.
I mean, I saw them for the first time last year, and it was
Phenomenal.
unbelievable. unbelievable.
They've still played.
I mean,
just
are
as
they
good as
playing
did
new
back
shit
in
or
the
I
are
was
day.
saying, are you
playing
are you
Less
talking
Than
like
Martyr?
current Norma Jean? Or are you
So I'm talking, like-
All
Norma
Norma
Jean.
Jean.
I'm talking maybe it was
80
years
Norma
ago.
Jean.
I
They
don't
could
know.
literally
I had-
play any
Because
fucking record down
it's
to
sounding an
Ludacris and
awful
But they
lot
have to
like
play
this is
Memphis.
just the Josh
When
Goggin
did they play
tour.
with Fit for a
Yeah,
King?
that's literally
Was
what
that
this
last
sounds
year or
like.
the year before?
I think that was
And
last
I'm
year.
gonna say
It was incredible.
Norma Jean. Oof.
So you guys have one more that you can decide on.
I want He Is Legend on the bill. I want the Hill.
I play with
I'm
Silent
taking the
Planet,
hill, bro.
but I
I'm not
guess you guys
trying to-
Knew that was
They're
coming.
playing first.
Yeah, that's. I was waiting for it.
He's like, when are we gonna get
Great
the
band. They're
soundbite?
playing first.
So what are yours?
I gotta
So
use the bathroom. I'm gonna die.
I would play like my top go tos that like I would add on would be like Atreyu, Silent Planet, throwing
Planet.
out Rise Against because they fit any genre bill.
They can get down with
They
it.
can
yeah.
get down with anybody. But then I would even go as like old school as like why not like I agree with the Project 86 thing because that,
That would
was
just be cool for nostalgia.
it really would.
Plus, they were like kind of unique.
They were.
Back then. You know what I
And-
mean, if you think for time frame, they
Yep.
were very unique. Nowadays, it's not so much, but back
Right.
then, it was like, oh shit.
I was kind of hoping somebody would throw on Maylene, but nobody has. So
I mean, I really enjoyed Maylene, but I don't know that I'd want to actually
I feel like he would be more of a Dallas fan with Under Oath, not with Maylene. I mean, that's just what I get from you. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but
You're right.
okay. That's I was gathering you were more of a
you
fan
like
of him
Dallas?
with Under Oath.
So like I really enjoyed his years. So like like with Under Oath, and then they like I'm not gonna lie, I liked it when Spencer, right? Mm-hmm. I liked it when Spencer came along. But at the same time, I almost felt like they were two different bands.
Oh, they were.
Oh, dude,
So,
yeah,
like-
they completely changed up. I mean,
Exactly.
Once Spencer came in and they went from being this more like metalcore type band into something completely different. I mean, granted, what they became is what got them where they went. But I mean, oh yeah, like if you listen to anything I mean, really, Chasing Safety. I mean, if you go like the Changing of Times, there's hints to
Right.
what they became, but it still also has a bit of like that old metalcore sound that
Exactly.
they had, which, you know, I love both eras, but
So what do you think the final band would be? Would you guys agree on the fifth?
I said a handful of different things.
I would probably go with Aforethought 68 Norma Jean headlining.
Okay, what are the other two though?
Well,
Or-
you had the
uh,
cherry.
Fall of
Three.
Troy,
Was,
Foxbat.
was it 3?
So we got 6 total. We're 1. So we got 5
Yeah,
to
so
choose.
you have Horse the Band,
Yep.
The
Norman
68.
Jean, 68, the Chariot,
Chariot.
and you need one more.
Foxbat.
Well, let's go. Let's throw Grey Haven on it.
I'm gonna whisper that forever.
The Haven.
Never even heard of that band, to be honest.
Grey Haven?
Yeah.
You never heard?
How about hey?
wrong with
How about
you?
Old Gideon?
Take the mic away from this guy.
There you go.
Gideon? Old Gideon? Yes? No?
Old Gideon. I
I'm
would
kind
do
of.
it.
Well, I mean, if you're going by majority
I'm kinda
rules.
with
Old
Gideon.
poet.
Oh, shit.
Old
that's
poet.
some
Oh my
locals.
god.
There
Yeah.
you go. That would be a great one. That would be
I'd
like
get down for
Actually,
Old
really
hear
Poet.
me
with
out.
us.
I would love to play because Travelers always plays with them, even though we're totally different like sounds. This band and the day after would be a lot of fun.
Oh, the day after?
The
The
day after would be a
After
lot
is
of
a
fun.
So
dope
close,
band.
bro.
Oh, dude,
Alright,
they're
we're
only
so
getting
close to
heavier
playing
too
with
now.
Do
them.
they have to be still living?
What about
No, this is your dream tour.
Yeah,
You're rising
Dream
from the
tour.
dead.
All right, I got one.
what about Gwen Stacy?
Gwen Stacy. I
you
literally
go.
was
Yeah,
about
well,
to say
Is
that.
Pat gonna come back and play with them though?
No, Brent. So that's
Can
fine.
Pat be in the band again?
Pat could, yeah, Pat could be like.
Pat
I'm
was there
okay.
to the-
We
Pat
can
was-
This just
finalize
changed
that.
things.
Pat wasn't there to the very
That
end.
changes.
so.
Can we restart this conversation?
We're also forgetting a really dope band, Crunkosaurus Rex.
Yeah. So,
Well, let's move on.
next
My
question,
bad, my bad.
please.
I love that band.
Wait, what are they called now?
Let's move on.
Musically, they're
I didn't know they
okay,
were still
but-
a band. I just
They're
I
not.
think they
Called,
are.
like Home Sweet Home or something.
They were.
Oh.
They were Home Sweet.
So
they
this
gone.
podcast is sponsored by Rain Energy Drinks.
Apparently, they
I
like
guess
them.
you know.
I don't know what else
Everyone
to say.
pulls one
I don't
out of their.
drink.
Yeah, and then we all pull it.
Raid.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be
Okay,
nice?
so final lineup.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I'd
Which
say
one
we
should we-
finalized
Yeah,
with
so
Gwen
it was-
Stacy.
yeah.
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah.
Okay,
Stacy.
well,
That's a pretty good one.
all
Gwen
right.
Stacy.
It's a good lineup.
Yeah.
So we're just doing like early
God.
2000s
Yeah.
everything.
East
Yeah,
Coast band.
Yeah.
exactly what that sounds like.
Everything's early 2000s. Let's
It's
go.
like what Zach said. It's the Josh Scourgeon tour featuring
Yeah.
early 2000s
Yeah.
metalcore.
Yeah, we're good with that.
So, getting
Yeah.
ready to
No.
like kind of wrap everything up. What are some final thoughts you guys want to give on like what we can expect coming from you guys, even if it isn't related to the record? What is in the future for Aforethought
Touring.
between now and the end of the year?
Well,
Oh.
I'll touch on the record. So we are finishing up working through our record with Stone Tree Studios in
Shout out.
Indy.
Okay.
Shout out to John Benjamin for hooking us up on that
All
one.
the way. J-Beebs.
And we did Umber Maya with him.
Okay.
So we are finalizing that process. We're looking for probably a spring release.
Cool.
And my main takeaway for the album, you've mentioned the emotions thing. My main goal and what you can expect from us is just heavy hitting music that can translate from the CD straight to live, and you can feel the emotion in it. That's always been like my thing as a vocalist, is how much emotion can I push out
Hell yeah.
in this amount of time. I've talked to these guys for the lyric content of like the album. It's the conceptions like of the mind. So the different struggles of like internal versus external. So you can expect probably a couple more singles, or maybe at least one
Music
more single.
videos. Music
before
We're
the end of
aiming
the-
for
the
one
year.
more single.
We're
Okay.
doing a music where we're definitely,
We are definitely doing a
releasing a
music
music.
video.
So it'll be a single along with the music video. So it'll just be that music video. So that'll be the single that we release prior to the album. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we may do. I think we are doing a playthrough. We don't know when we're gonna release that though. So, that's pretty much between now and the album. But as for show wise, I think we're gonna just kind of do few and far between kind of deal. So it'd be like if we do play shows, it'll probably be a weekend run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more than playing random shows around Indiana. So it would be like if we do, so we'll book maybe like a run every other couple months, or something like that.
Word.
So we will
Okay.
kind of stay away from kind of kicking ass, you know, because we
Right.
did that for a while, and it.
Oh yeah, you guys
And
were
plus
hitting
with
heavy
You
for a
know,
COVID and
while.
everything
yeah, we
going
were
on
doing
right now
that.
makes it
Everybody,
hard.
when you know, I mean, right before COVID, everybody was kicking ass, dude. Everybody
Oh,
was just
it was,
like,
and it was just like it came to a
you know,
dead- a complete
Louisiana,
dead
the
stop.
Lot Lizards, man, they were sometimes hitting 2 shows, 3 shows a night. That's
Oh,
I mean,
crazy.
yeah.
it was every weekend.
Yeah, it was every weekend.
Lot was moving and
They were
shaking.
moving.
Joey was
bro.
giving himself a weekend off, and even then, he was saying he had so much like hype that he was filling up his weekends off.
The Lot
Yeah.
is one of the hardest working bands I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
exactly. Well, we want to do a little a little bit of a mellower version of that. Like,
Hell yeah.
so well, not even close to a version of that. I'm not even there's no comparison to that. So it's like doing 2 shows a night. Like book that, bro. Deal with that. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
right.
Joey, like
We want to kick ass.
Yeah.
This is long
Oof.
story short. We
Boy, yeah.
we are trying. We
Hell
are
yeah.
spending money. We
yeah,
are
oof.
booking this. Like we are trying as hard as we possibly can
Yep.
to make the littlest happen.
Yeah, that's the way it is. And being in a band's like herding cats and having 4 girlfriends. Everybody does
yeah,
that.
in this case,
You know,
it's
no,
straight
I-
up.
no,
Like-
no, that is-
yeah.
Yeah,
we love each other.
love it.
But I hate every
I hate
single
it.
one of them.
Of course,
yeah, yeah.
that's the family aspect.
yeah.
of it.
If you don't hate them, do you really love them?
For people that kind of in closing, I don't want to call them fans because I feel like you guys look at everybody who listens to your music as a
Right.
friend or as
Right.
family or whatever.
Right.
I hate the word fans, but
We're not.
thinking
Same.
about people that listen to your music, if you guys could send a message out, kind of closing things out with COVID going on, people not being able to get together for shows, people that are tuning in that miss seeing you guys, what would you guys want to say to anybody just to kind of close out?
We're glad that they miss seeing us because we feel very short end of the stick, or not even that word, very low on it right now. We don't got a lot of people other than friends that like really look up to us. He did get noticed at the skate park the other day.
Yeah, that was
cool.
That
Oh,
was-
wow. where are you
Somebody
skating
called
at?
him
Major
out.
Taylor's, yeah. I got
Wow.
major. I got
And he
like,
was
pulled.
like, "Hey, you're the guy from
You're the guy.
Aforethought."
I was like, I am
so
him.
cool.
Like,
It was
I'm
like,
him.
I am that guy.
I
That
am
was
that guy.
like the
That was
first.
Then you run
experience.
behind the bathrooms and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
He
but
went,
it wasn't.
went into the
Except for
porta
the fact there
potty,
is no
started jerking
bathroom.
off.
Yeah,
like,
there's
yes,
no bathroom.
yes, this is what I wanted
Yeah.
the whole
All right.
time.
No, but
No, other than that,
We're
no.
gonna be hitting
If
hard.
there is anybody that is like looking out for like us and like all that, we are spending more time and money than people can even understand why this is going on, and it's also a saving towards us that this is happening because the fact that we are not doing tours, we are not doing shows, we're spending the money and the time towards a CD.
In
We
content.
have
That's just
more
as important.
more than less,
Yeah.
at least 11 song CD coming out.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
can say that much. It's going to be a full length CD.
That's great.
Coming out and
I'm excited for
possibly around April that we're
Hell yeah.
more than excited for.
Yeah.
Other than that, like,
Can't wait to hear it.
yeah, I mean, if anyone else has anything to say on that,
Well-
that's, like, we are stoked for this.
Yeah. Well, pretty much.
Almost thankful, but not thankful for COVID at the same
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Blessing in disguise. type
Yeah,
of
it
thing. You gotta
really
find the
is.
silver lining.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have
you
to.
have to
keeps
keep
us going.
pushing,
Yeah.
otherwise you're just gonna
If
stay
it wasn't for
stagnant.
that, we wouldn't have.
We
like,
wouldn't have.
did
We wouldn't have
this.
stopped touring. I mean, imagine like we were going
We
on
had
one.
two
We
tours,
were going
one with
tour,
Controversy.
2 with you,
Controversy
2 with you,
was
and then
one,
one at
and I was gonna be
in
your
the
guys'
end of
bass
August.
player
We
for
wouldn't have
that one. I
stopped.
was so
Yep,
stoked.
and then Controvert had a tour with Lenore. They were coming on as soon as we got off of the tour
Yeah,
with you guys.
because
so.
we were gonna saddle up and chill, and then go right back out with Soul Seeker. Well, that was in the works right before, but it really never got off the ground. But
Yeah.
everything was
Blessing in
confirmed on we were
disguise,
going.
la,
So
la.
Well, any of you have anything else to add?
One of my big things that I want to add is support your local venues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If,
Yes,
if we aren't putting into the venues, there will be no place for us to play.
We're
when we get
already
back.
losing a
Yep.
lot of them right now.
yes,
It's
bro, and they're
so
gone.
true.
It's
Well,
so
I think
painful to
it's
even
just
watch.
painful right now, but I think that the venues will either catch up or I don't know.
I mean, like we lost Thunderbirds.
Did we?
Yeah.
Seriously, they closed down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
James is done.
unfortunately.
Spinelli's.
If
Spinelli's too?
Yep.
Yeah, Spinelli's
The dome is
done.
on the verge.
The,
The
dome
dome
has
is
been on the
closed.
verge, and that's been
Indy's
pretty
been
terrifying.
been low key funding it, but it's not enough.
if anyone's like
I don't know that for a fact.
like hardcore
I've heard.
listening to this stuff, watch out for Q Skate Park.
Yeah, Q Skate Park.
is about to be hitting huge.
Seek,
That's
shout out
where-
Sequence Events. Shout out. I can't remember your name. Love you though.
Soundspace is a big one.
They are.
that
Yeah,
I
I've been seeing a lot of
represent. That's
stuff
where
at
my other
Soundspace,
band
shout
plays
out.
at.
Shout out Ricky.
So yeah, Ricky for sure. So between Soundspace and Q Skate Park, you guys need to be watching 2021 for them.
Right on.
They are
Right on.
bringing some big, I cannot exaggerate, big things our way.
Word.
As
Hopefully
in
COVID doesn't
our,
fuck
as
it
in
up.
Yeah,
all
that's
of
what we're
it.
really fighting.
They-
Hopefully, we get
They're
back on top in
100%
April.
local. If I was to say anything about Soundspace, the one thing that they're trying to bring is even if it's the Eagles, they want to bring one local band every time.
Hell yeah.
So they're big time, and they want to be nation.
Okay.
They
National.
have a huge place, and they're expanding. They
That's
have.
dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So look out for
Shout out, Ricky.
Soundspace. Soundspace is a big thing, and Q Skate Park is gonna be just as big.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Because
to
the
add?
sequence events, pretty much, it's like
Sequence.
we're kind of like winding up. You know what I mean? So it's like after
We
that,
could go for
be-
so long.
yeah. So it's
This-
like all of the
this
stuff that we're
feels
not, that all of
short.
our, don't take our silence as you know, as irrelevance, and
Oh, no,
take it
yeah.
as like a, we're over here kind of like moving gears and making things happen because we're gonna jack in the box the shit.
Storm
so
is
it's like
brewing. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Like you
here
said,
it
you guys
comes
are winding
April,
up.
pap.
Once it unwinds,
So-
it's about to be hitting for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, a lot of
Yeah.
things
Well,
are hitting.
thank you so much for coming out and
Yeah,
hanging out.
man.
You guys
Thanks
had
for
a great
having us.
set.
Of
You
course,
guys sounded
anytime.
phenomenal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And where can we find all of your music at? All platforms, right?
All platforms.
All platforms.
All platforms.
Yep.
One.
All right.
Well, we want to thank you guys definitely for coming in. Like,
All right.
you are our first full band to come in for this season. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. You
Plus
got a
there's
mic
some,
over there, right?
Yep.
Some
And,
new things
You
that
better
you'll
have
be
a mic
seeing in
over
there. Yeah,
videos
there's-
as well.
there's a lot of stuff going on this season. I mean, obviously, like, this is Jenny's first episode with us
Yeah.
as one of our additional hosts and stuff, too. So,
Yeah.
So cute.
so yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool things happening with the podcast. We're going to be bringing more people in.
Yep.
Definitely going to be bringing you guys back in at some point.
We're talking about Under Oath. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah. I mean,
Why wouldn't we
Yeah,
talk
let's
about?
talk Under Oath.
Let's please not
We
do
got
that.
2
Like, I
hours of
love
Under
my
Oath
friends
coming.
like the
Let's
way they
go.
are. It's like talking about sex, drugs, and politics. I was like, not trying to have that right
No,
now.
we're bringing back you guys for a 5-part harmony cover of Reading Rainbow.
Oh,
We could do
a
that.
I mean, we could
five-part?
probably get that done.
Who's
I'm
five?
fine this.
Well, on that note,
All right.
I
We're
hope you
gonna
guys have a good
end.
night.
Yeah,
Safe
absolutely.
travels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
safe travels.
All right, man.
Yep. Thanks again for coming by, guys.
Let's go skate.
Bet.